Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to Law Kept Simple. I am Stephanie Joy, sharing with you a little legal concept or legal definition, whatever else comes across the plate that some people are asking, what does that mean, without having to do all the legal research themselves. It is simple, it is to the point. It doesn't make you a legal scholar, but it might just give you a understanding of the legal concept. So if you're in a conversation with somebody and don't want to look utterly foolish, you might have a little bit of knowledge in a very few minutes of time. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And it turns out, like I alluded to before, two kinds of legislative processes. The one we're used to, the one that's actually really generally, well, it's a little dysfunctional now, but it's a thoughtful, deliberative process with a lot of debates, like input, all that to get a law to be passed. Then there is this alternative method of trying to pass a law that's easier and faster, easier for the proponents, of course. And that is the reconciliation process. The original, the one that we use most of the time, is the regular order legislative process. So the reconciliation process, the reason why it's easier is instead of having a 60 vote in the Senate, they can go with a simple majority. That's really significant. Things go much faster. There are other limitations to it, though. So as a result of this facilitated way of passing a bill with less votes, there are constraints on that. Cannot ever, and this is expressly a rule, it cannot be a Social Security related rule. And that is the main reason why the Social Security workings that perhaps the president would like for all the Social Security beneficiaries wasn't going to happen in this bill, because it violates that rule. So there was going to be no Social Security. That's why it had to be a certain age, and they couldn't make, if they were going to try to cover, think about it, disabled people generally, they would have to bring that age down to, say, 18, or let's say you were saying, well, just disabled people 40 and over, 40 and up. They couldn't make it just disabled people on Social Security. They would have to make it everybody. And then we'd really have no federal income tax revenues. So it would be pretty insane. The understanding is, and we've all just kind of gotten to this point since we don't study this on a day-to-day basis, but we've been racking our eyeballs with it for the last week. Yeah, about the last week, maybe a little less. Other bills can be presented, and I believe there's some up there right now. Whether they will pass or not is a whole nother thing, because there's large factions that do not want to see any kind of reduction in taxes. They just don't.